a rugged border where Russia ends and Georgia begins. And in exactly a year's time, these mountains will host the Winter Olympics. Today, the Georgian side is an increasingly popular destination for skiers looking to get off the beaten track. One way is heli-skiing. A helicopter drops skiers on the top of a mountain, which they then ski down. The main advantage of Georgia, these skiers say, is that it's about a quarter of the price of heli-skiing in the Alps, and with no other skiers in sight.
Now the skiing these guys are doing is more than just off-piste. They're going through forests, they're going over rocks, they're going down cliffs. Pretty impressive. Taking a helicopter up is the best ski lift you can imagine, especially when you arrive here on the top of pristine mountain peaks. You're certainly away from the crowd.
In this area you have much less people, and especially off-piste you basically have the whole side of the mountain by yourself. In the Alps you always compete for this now.
The infrastructure of skiing is that you have a lift and gondola network. With a heli you have your own lift the whole time, all day. And there are varying degrees of access, but clearly today we've got great access because we're being dropped off and jumping around all over the place.
If, like me, you don't fancy skiing off a cliff, you can also opt for the 60 kilometres of piste at Gudauri ski resort. It's an hour-and-a-half's drive from the capital Tbilisi, so pretty easy for travellers in the region to pop up for a day or two skiing.
One of the great things about Gudauri is that the piste is south-facing, so you get constant sunshine. But also we're very high here. A lot of the runs are above 3,000 metres above sea level, which means that the snow is really reliable right throughout the season. And once you get to the top, the view is absolutely spectacular. Behind me over there, I can see the Georgian breakaway territory of South Ossetia, and that's the region over which Russia and Georgia went to war 5 years ago. And just a few miles that way, over that mountain ridge, is Russia itself. Conditions are absolutely perfect. Blue skies, lots of sun, and the snow is just great.
Before the collapse of the Soviet Union, Gudauri was one of the most popular ski destinations in the former USSR and a training ground for the Soviet Winter Olympics team. But during the 1990s, Georgia was racked by civil war and economic chaos, and the tourist industry collapsed. Now though, Georgia's government has taken over Gudauri, investing $30 million in new lifts and infrastructure, and giving hotel operators financial incentives to open here. It's all part of the government's plan to boost tourism, in particular by focusing on skiing.
There is future plans to develop left side of the piste, and there is plan to make new lifts, and so the total length of piste will increase dramatically in a few years.
Georgia isn't quite as developed as Western Europe or North America, so sometimes things can be a bit rough and ready, and Georgians themselves are by nature pretty relaxed. So don't expect the ski lifts to necessarily operate according to any strict schedule. With the next Winter Olympics taking place in Sochi on the other side of the border, the whole region is getting attention. So skiers from the former Soviet Union are rediscovering the Caucasus. Almost a third of the skiers in Gudauri come from Russia or Ukraine.
Здесь дешевле, однозначно дешевле.
Georgia is cheaper, a lot cheaper, and it's much more colourful. You really experience the national character with the people here and the food they serve.
A day's ski pass costs just $18, almost a quarter of the price of similar-sized Swiss resorts, and hiring boots and skis for the day, just over $20, half the price of Switzerland. Hotel rooms typically cost between $100 and $200 a night. The main drawback, though, is that with just 7 lifts, Gudauri is small, so not really enough for a long holiday.